Welcome back to Mousesports versus FaZe. We thought Mousesports were absolutely done for, Vince, after the first map, but they have bounced back in emphatic style, somehow neutralizing the beast that is FaZe and taking us to a third. FaZe looked a little bit off kilter there, though. That's not the FaZe we've seen on Dust 2 throughout this tournament. Something wasn't quite right. Could you really work out what that was?
I think some of it comes down to Guardian having very low impact with the AWP.
Yes.
On a map like Dust 2, you really do need your AWP firing on all cylinders, especially when Oscar's in fine form. But I don't want to just say it was Guardian, right? Because Nico didn't have the same level of impact he did yesterday. Olof had moments and spurts here and there, but he wasn't exactly completely on point. So I don't think there's any one person that's really let the team down there. It's just kind of a culmination of many different things. But Train is a chance, much like we saw Mousesports do after Cash, to reset mentally, to come back, treat this as a best of one now.
Yeah,
everything
absolutely.
else doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. That's what we said at the end of the first map, Cash. Sure, it was 16-1, but it doesn't actually matter. That the score does not contribute further into the series. All it does is give a win towards FaZe, and they couldn't hold on to it. And now we find ourselves on Train, a map we know both teams play, but Mousesports looks like the better squad, I have to say, on Dust 2. They had more synergy, better tactics, in my opinion. And you have to say, maybe FaZe were just riding the carry of Nico on that Optic game. He was just running around killing absolutely everyone. Didn't really need that many strategies, to be honest. But the coordination of Mousesports what impressed me the most. Their B splits with some nice Chris J twist in there as well, getting down there and sabotaging their defense, and knowing how FaZe would be playing was a lot of fun to watch. So there we go. FaZe getting rid of, I think the knife round has to come in first. It's a very important knife round, as we discussed this before. The fact the knife round here does mean pretty much everything. If you can get the CT side in the final map, that can be a massive mental advantage, and we'll see if that works out for them. They can do that right now. So it's up to FaZe to bounce back after that one, after looking unstoppable on the first map.
Yeah, I would say, you know, for Cash and Dust 2, knife's not that important, but for Train it certainly is. And so for the final time in this best of 3, in this quarterfinals, we'll see which of the two teams is going to elect which side, as we are going to be jumping straight into the knife round. Based off that performance, though, Oscar is definitely a player to watch out for. He is going to have a lot of impact with that AWP if he can continue to apply the pressure. But I'm really wanting to see something from Guardian here. If the two of them start firing off, this could be a hell of a map to watch.
Oh, yes, of course it could. We've been saying that, though, for the last couple of maps. It seems like one of them always turn up, but we haven't had both going toe-to-toe. That's been the problem, I think, so far in terms of this game getting to its ultimate climax. We'll see what happens here. The knife round has been completed, and it will indeed be FaZe. Remember, FaZe, there's so much more on the line for them in terms of the context of this tournament, because this is their final step in the Intel Grand Slam. That ultimately means if they win this tournament, they get a bonus of $1 million between the 5 of them. That's pretty unbelievable to think about. But
not too shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby at all. But if they do ultimately lose it, they will have to get another tournament and then another, because they'll lose one of these tournaments. You only have a window of 10 tournaments to get the 4 required. So that's how it all works. And FaZe now getting ready. They will be actually switching over. They're standing on the T side. So that was a little bit of a break before we get into it. Maybe one more huddle now, just to get everyone fired up and ready.
That's also what they're playing for, of course, the Masters Trophy. Alongside the prestige, the bragging rights, and as Henry said, a whole bucket load of cash, especially for FaZe. But Mousesports, they have every chance at bouncing back from an unbelievably poor first map. FaZe, in the meanwhile, just getting themselves warmed up alongside Mousesports. Had a bit of a break in between the two maps. But it looks like we're about to go live as a timeout is coming to a close, Henry. For the final time, we're going to be jumping in this quarterfinals between Mousesports and FaZe. You can see all the players there waiting, ready and rearing to go.
Looks like you might be right. Ladies and gentlemen, the final map between Mousesports and FaZe. Let's make some noise as FaZe will get ready on the T side. P250 is available for Guardian and Rain. Glocks there as well. 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs. And we'll see if there's any aggression coming in from the CTs. Rops will be holding alone, actually, towards Inner. They're anticipating an outside play. And they would be right with that as well. Looks like a split, focusing on towards that Ivy position. It's Guardian and Offmeister trying to take down Sunny, and surely they've got him. The great smoke deployed.
That's going to buy him some time and may actually save his life. Elsewhere, Chris J and Snacks have both taken damage, but Snacks is going to take the head of Nico on his way out. And there's strength in numbers for Mousesports here on the A side of the map. There's 4 in close proximity, with a 5th just starting back towards Ivy. That's going to be Sunny. The 2 kills have both gone the way of Mousesports, so this is looking like an excellent start once again. They had a rip-roaring start on Dust 2, able to convert that. And it could be more of the same. Things slowing down a little bit because of the flurry, the frenzy of action to kick things off. We still have just over 50 seconds to play with. The bomb under control by the terrorists in the hands of Carrigan. As Olaf Meister's going to try and make a move via Ivy. Rops there to deal with him. Guardian now with his P250, you feel is going to have to be the main man if they're going to clutch this. And I've got to say, it's not looking good for them, Henry.
Definitely not. Carrigan and Guardian now up against it. It's a clean sweep for Mousesports. Pretty lackluster outside approach there. Nothing too technical from FaZe. It's a pretty standard split between the main entrance and Ivy. Didn't actually find a kill whatsoever. I have to say, Sunny's smoke to get him out of danger was absolutely everything here. Remember, FaZe with so much pressure on their shoulders just to make it at least at a grand final at this point, have a chance at the $1 million. We'll see these shots from heaven working out very nicely for Rob. Seems to be warming up into this series just in the nick of time.
Yeah, very slow start, of course, going back to Cash. I think he ended on 3-16, something like that. Dust 2, a completely different story. And already snapping his authority with the 2 kills and the pistol. FaZe comes straight back in with some firepower and Kevlar behind it, but they already have no grenades to play with, but they don't need nades when they have Nico and a Desert Eagle by his side. That's going to be Chris J's life becoming forfeit. Sunny at least answers back, but some ground has already been gained for the terrorists.
Oh my god, the scouts are out again. They've been such a powerful weapon this tournament. It's been a bit of a resurgence for the sniper, but still at 3 versus 3. FaZe are trying to get them back into the stealth round. We'll see whether it's even possible here as they make their way towards the backtrack. Damage inflicted once again. Rain with a clothesline on the bomb side. Make it 2. 3 versus 1 now. Oscar left of the scout, but surely nothing can be done.
The haymaker delivered to the face of Mousesports leaves Oscar shaking with just 28 health. Any of these guns would finish him off. He's gonna catch. Oh no! Caught Carrigan with his pants down. But he stumbled, he tripped. And Mousesports will get evened up by FaZe 1 apiece. He's going to want to forget about that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely so. But this is something we're all going to remember for a while, I think. These Deagle shots were perfect from Rain. Gets them right back in the driving seat now. 1-1. They steal the second round away. There will be a force buy in response, of course. This is the war of attrition. Who will come out on top is yet to be seen. Right now, FaZe in the lead with the buy. They get the 2 AKs and the FAMAS as well. Scout on the hands of Guardian, and 2 of them on the Mousesports side, wielded by Chris J and Rops, of course. Oscar with just a P250, trying to save his money going forward. Obviously, he's going to be a vital asset considering his performance on Dust 2 Train. Another very AWP-centric affair. Carrigan makes his way towards the end of Ivy here. Smoke deployed. Holding on. No one has to overcommit here. Chris J, great position. Will be able to land a shot. Yes, he can. Takes Rain down to 29.
Sending shivers up the collective spine of FaZe. Chris J with that scout. Nico gonna be bested courtesy of Stacks. This is a great start for Mouse, but they're starting to slip and slide now that Reigns came in with a kill, plus the bomb plant directly after it. In amongst the smoke, Olaf Meister decides to push, and that FAMAS is gonna sing form with the headshot onto Rops, making the idea of retaking that much more difficult without a kit, without nades. Mousesports already deciding, nope, we're out of here. We're tapping out of this round.
Yeah, I think that's the right call as well. They get a second bite of the cherry if they can hold on to these weapons. 2 scouts and an M4. Not too shabby, really. But it was the force buy. Oscar, remember, didn't spend any money into this round. He'll recover the scout from Rops' corpse. But FaZe just losing 1 kill. That was Nico. Well, looks like another as well. Oscar will find Olaf Meister have $300 in the bag for him, and he will save the scout. 2-1 FaZe, though. Final map here against these 2 international star-studded rosters. Snacks has had an okay series so far. Once again, I think the main talking point about him is that he's not been bad in Mousesports. He's just not a star anymore. He hasn't really got that je ne sais quoi he did before and was the talking point, and at one point was considered one of the world's best.
And considering they're doing so well with Sticko, who is just a rock-solid support player, did they necessarily need Snacks to come through? That is, I suppose, the question that's still being answered by many a person. But in terms of this round, Mousesports don't have a great deal to play with, just to save weapons from Oscar and Sunny. FaZe really just feeling their way out across the map on their T side. They know that Mousesports are going to be low, so it's similar to what we saw on Dust 2 a bunch of times. They're not going to just push in, you know, get their heads banged off by some of these pistols. They want to take their sweet time and feel out as to what they're up against. Oscar, though, is going to take this opportunity to push with this FAMAS, and it seems perfect timing. A couple players just went down Pop Dog. This is going to leave Nico in a very precarious spot. But, of course, Nico's going to escape. The Houdini of CSGO strikes once more.
There it is. Lovely stuff there from Nico. Looking for their third round on the board here. I dare say they've pretty much got it at this point, but damage being done. Olofmeister tagged to a 29. It's that scout once again of Chris J, the same position. Been such a nuisance for them, but finally taking some damage. That will push him off, and they're going towards inside here. Nico going in first. Should be able to guarantee this kill. Maybe another one as well. Lovely shot towards Chris J. That will be the round.
That went from Oscar having the drop on Nico to Nico picking up a 3K and securing the round for his team. Rops and Sunny remain. They're going to hold on to this M4, but it's not looking good, especially as Nico was coming round the back anyway. So it could have even been a knife in play. And Rops with his lonely P250. Soon to be found by Olofmeister if he continues his track towards the T-spawn, which he will. Living on borrowed time. But he will become the Grim Reaper and get rid of Olofmeister.
It's not bad. Couple of kills, but ultimately the round does go towards FaZe here. The first gun round coming in. Oscar, as mentioned, saving for the AWP. That'll be coming out here in round number 5. Guardian, though, as well. He is a trained specialist. Do not doubt him for a second on this map. And Nico really getting it done there towards inside. That's the best place to operate in those anti-ecos at the upper ramp. You can check out every area. Obviously got a huge range advantage having the AK compared to those pistols. Here we go, then a very important situation. No kits available for Mousesports yet. A fast approach from Olofmeister. We'll see if this is going to find him an opening kill. Not quite just yet. He's shutting everyone down.
Carrigan and Guardian gonna try and make a move outside. Leave it to just Guardian. 1 on 3. Plenty of time left. Gets the drop onto Snacks, but Oscar, he will pounce. 3-2, aggressive round for FaZe, completely backfiring.
Absolutely. They tried to take advantage of the fact that they knew it was the first gun round for Mousesports. The money wouldn't be amazing at that point, knowing that they had to get out there quickly, try and shut down the fact they might not have the orb or the incendiaries, but Oscar is there hitting the shots, and they tried to call a tactical pause there, but they didn't get called in time. Carrigan will have to just play with what he's got now. 2 CZs, the AK-47s, and 1 AWP. It's actually in the hands of Olofmeister in this particular round as he looks towards that upper ramp. Rain will be just beneath him, and an inside execution looks very likely at this point. Interesting that Olofmeister still has the orb, considering Guardian's there with armor. We'll see if he can make it work. Definitely no stranger to the weapon. Olofmeister can be handy with it, but arguably one of the world's best in your team. You'd want to presumably swap that over.
Here come FaZe, pulling the trigger on a fast B hit. Not dismayed by the complete failure of the last round. They are going to be going in for the jugular, with Rain being the prime predator, but he will become the prey. Rops, with his AK, is going to give a better chance and opportunity for Mousesports to bounce back. And Oscar onto Olofmeister. It's going to make this very difficult and tenuous now for FaZe. Snacks on the wrong side of the smoke is going to find Carrigan as he pushes through, feeling pressure to do something. Beautiful shot for Guardian. He's already picked up 2 in this round and could be on for an 8th. And if he can pull out an unreal play, it's done so much damage. Nico's also helping him, but Guardian's going to miss, and that could be the end. There's not a great deal of time, though. Then there's only the 1 kit in the hands of Rops. They're going to have to give this up. FaZe have done it. Guardian holds the line.
Absolutely unreal scenes from Guardian. That's what we are missing on Dust 2, Vince. Those sort of hero plays coming in. battling around the bomb, hitting absolutely everyone. Just when it felt like the round was falling apart, they go into that one with 2 pistols, a rifle, and that AWP, and Guardian finally shows us how world-class he can be with that weapon. Going toe-to-toe, hitting absolutely everything, and Nico has been in that upper round position many times before in those clutches. Thankfully this time there wasn't enough time to go for the full defuse. He confirms it, falls back, and survives the round. AWP I don't think was collected. We'll have a look as to whether that was the case. But it's not really going to be required, I don't think. The money should be quite weak at this point. That is the respect for Mousesports. Remember, they kept 2 players alive, though. See what they can bring to the table. There was a tactical timeout called. AK for Robs. That was brought over from the previous. Oscar does have the orb. FaZe did not pick that one up, so they had 3 AKs, 2 UMPs. Still very promising for Mousesports here in round number 7, especially with Oscar having the only sniper available.
And we called on Guardian to have more impact in this map. So far, so good for the FaZe AWPer. As you say, Mousesports, they are down to mere pennies at this stage. Just a CZ for Chris J. Oscar does have the long-range AWP in his hands, and close by on the catwalk will be Rops. Oscar is going to claim the first kill on the round. And FaZe looking to funnel out once again. Another very aggressive play. Rops is going to be good to get 2 kills and looking for more. And he will find if he peeks again, but Carrigan is going to put him down a peg. This will afford them the bomb plant, and now Guardian showing that he's not just a one-trick pony with the UMP. But unfortunately, the firepower and the manpower was not favouring FaZe, so they will concede a 3rd round.
Had to go for the execution there, Vince. They didn't really have much to work with the UMPs, the 3 AKs, the lack of the sniper. They go for the inside execution, but Rops is such a solid anchor on that side of the map. Managed to get 2 kills. He had the AK save in the previous round. Took 2 of the players down, and they pushed through smoke to damage to a 3rd. And at that point, the retake really could begin, and FaZe could not hold them off. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Rops using that smoke to perfection there. Nothing they could do about it. And that should be eco for FaZe now. They are going to get CZ armor on all of Meister release. The rest of them a little bit more conservative with their approach. 2 smokes, and they'll see what they can do with these upgraded pistols. I would say not a whole lot. They're going to drop 2 smokes very quickly. Suggest they might just rush Ivy at this point. And indeed, they'll try and do what they can, but that nade's going to be disastrous. Going to land all 3 of them. The damage inflicted is off the scales as Sunny sprays down 3. Couldn't have timed the nade any better there. A real wombo combo coming in.
The tactical nuke lands on Ivy, eradicating all of FaZe.
That was pretty destructive. Well, there you go. Just Carrigan left. No chance here for him. Lovely stuff by Sunny. 4-4. This is looking good now for Mousesports. They chain 2 together. Tactical timeout called by Guardian, not Carrigan. So I just want to discuss their options here. They only have pretty much spot on the nose 4K per player, so they can't get the AWP. So that begs the question. Guardian wants to call the pause. Is it worth it right now? Do we want to go for this buy of 5 AKs and barely any utility? Or do we want to wait, take 1 more? We're on the T side right now. It's 4-4. Technically, we're leading, really, because we can take this round a little more conservative if we have to, but they are going to buy into it. Definitely had the discussion. Galil for Carrigan, 4 AKs. Carrigan goes to the Galil to actually get the smoke and Molotov available. They only have 3 smokes in total, though. That's the real problem with this buy. And maybe why Guardian questioned it, but we'll see what they can bring to the table here. Want to be more of the same, another execution. Mousesports bring out the double AWP setup once again. Oscar and Chris J, we've talked about that a lot. Certainly is very powerful indeed.
Had plenty of influence and impact on Dust too. I'll be hoping for more of the same. Flash primed by Nico. That's the flash the top of ramps, allowing the terrorists to peek it quickly, but no one's home for the CTs. They have smoked off ramp for the time being. And this time, Rock's not on catwalk, way back, but there's so much chunk damage done as Oscar following, stalking Olofmeister through the smoke, will finally get his man. But now Rain is going to step up to the plate. Nearly gets 2. Chris J gets battered and bruised. But Rain on the receiving end of the punishment now. Nico out in the open, fancies himself to get something done, but it's not going to happen in Mousesports. They have repelled another B hit.
They really have. FaZe. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That wasn't really a compelling round, was it? They'd go for an inside play, but Not really much to write home about. Quite a basic procedure. A couple of smokes, flashes in, hoping they can brute force their way in. But without everything you need in the AWP especially, it was quite a simple hold towards the end. 5-4, and now here comes the eco. We'll have 4 FaZe defenders going to the next round, which pretty much is guaranteed at this point with just Glocks and PT50s. They've got a deagle for Rain. There should be another chance for Mousesports just to swell even further. Oscar this round and Snacks both have close to $9,000. Sunny with 7K, and they're about to get another 3,500 presumably, so they really are going to be high rolling. And in round number 10, that might be enough for the rest of the half. They might not have to eco again.
As you touched on earlier though, FaZe already with 4 rounds is going to give them a lot of confidence. It only takes them to strike another couple times and they'll be good to go. Sunny trades out. Olofmeister will be there to return fire, avenging his fallen in-game leader of Karrigan. But he's not close enough to retrieve the weapon that was taken away from Sunny's hands. So FaZe still with it all to do. Oscar up on the boost of Connect Up, just peering across the T main where 3 terrorists currently have laid their bed, but they've got 40 seconds. They're going to have to wake up and brush off the cobwebs. Oscar's going to miss that first shot, but it's a lot of information that's been gathered. They know it's an A hit, they know there's only pistols, and it should just be a case of delaying the inevitable now. Olofmeister, the final player to fall. Now Sports off to a 6-4 lead.
I have to say, Vince, after the first map, 16-1 for FaZe, I didn't think there'd be any chance of Mousesports bouncing back. I know they're an emotional team with young players. They can crumble at times. They've been known to throw away massive leads. I didn't think they'd have the mental fortitude to get themselves to a 3rd map and now be in the lead as well, looking convincing and hotter than ever, really. We'll see where they can continue it now, but another purchase finally for FaZe. Guardians got the AWP, but no helmet. Won't be a massive deal, but could be a factor. They'll be holding towards Ivy for now. No significant changes, although I have spotted Oscar towards the lower ramp, but even better is Guardian with another run boost, completely eviscerates Chris J there, removes his head and bullies him off of Ivy. And that's the best opening pick you could really hope for there.
I mean, how tilted would you be with Chris J right now? You just see a player fling across.
Yep.
Boom. Insta headshot. Would love to see that from Guardian's perspective after this round. Not much Chris J could have done about it, really, though, to be fair to him. Yeah,
well, by the time you've noticed he's landed, you're already dead. It's so fast. Rain looking to help himself towards Pop Dog. They'll Molotov on top of it first. Flashbang to double down. Rain has got control. Advantage FaZe, but good positioning from Sunny here. Smoke starting to be deployed.
Smoke's not going to bother him whatsoever. Not going to play with his vision at all. Snacks is going to be called upon to hold the line for as long as he can, because Rops is making moves behind the terrorists, and Snacks is doing a solid job, but there's just too many for him to watch out for, too many angles. Rops takes a bit of needless damage, but he's trying to get here quick, also baiting out as he's going a different area, but Guardian's not falling for it. FaZe bounce back.
Pretty nifty little flash there from Rops, bouncing it up through the windows there, but wasn't quite enough there. Orb will take him back, and it all stems from that opening pick hit. That's why we want Guardian with the Orb, and that's probably why they took the pause before. It's like, well, I can do things like this. Maybe we should use that instead of just running around with AKs and no utility. So definitely justified. That's why we talk about the Orb so much on maps like Dust 2 and Train, because they can be so influential. Great battles being had right now. Really does warm things up as we go 5-6. FaZe return. They'll have a full buy, of course, here, but like we said, the Mousesports economy was so strong. They still have double orbs in, everything they need going forward. One more buy available for them. And it's all slowed down once more. Not going towards inside this time. Rops alone there once more. 4 players focusing, this time in front of smokes. You can see the CTs are actually operating very close range, right up to the choke point, so they might want to flash in just like that and get some information to see whether main entrance is clear. Another Molotov just to guarantee there's no retake from the Ts, as Nico, he'll be in the Pop Dog room here. Sunny seems to know it. He does he? Oh my goodness, there's going to be a trade though. Good work from Snacks. 4-4, less than a minute now.
They tag up Snacks as well, just a little bit for Nico. His trade could prove to be so costly for Mousesports. Rops, another different angle, proving to be unpredictable, proving to be a nightmare, a nuisance. But Oscar's not going to allow Rops to get in. amongst the action just yet. Gonna shield and keep him stealthily behind the coils. Strikes for a second. And now Carrigan and Olofmeister forced onto the A site. They should get quite a bit of ground, especially with that Molotov put down into connector. But it's going to be down to Chris J now. The man that was destroyed in Ivy in the round prior could now maybe stop this bomb from being planted. The Molotov buys them up a little bit more times at the very least. The economy is going to tick over somewhat, but in a 4-on-2, it really should be going the way of Mousesports. But Olofmeister, he is coming to the forefront once again. He wants to get this crowd behind him. He wants to put FaZe back on the map for Train and to get them through to the semi-finals. And every second that goes by is one that favors him, but there's Rock decapitating Olofmeister and getting Mousesports their 7th round.
Great play in the 2 versus 1. Olof did absolutely everything he could there. It felt like a classic Olof moment, didn't it? He was about to set himself up for a great kill towards connector, but Robs, the young Estonian gun, getting it done from the connector. Really nice play from him, guaranteeing the round for Mousesports. And there we have it, 7-5. Bomb was planted, but only $1,400 on top of that extra 800 bonus. They have to take another eco here. But still, it's not disastrous. FaZe, like we said, with 5 rounds on the T side. Anything else extra at this point is a bonus. Ideally, you'd want 6 or 7, but 5 definitely perfectly fine. We'll see whether they can get anything done here. Pretty much full eco. Deagles, P250s, and Glocks.
Certainly a tall task. But FaZe have came through worse. Olofmeister goes to show he's been having a bit of an off one. I mean, in that last round, he got 2 or 3 kills and still only 7 and 11. But there is Rops again. Again, if you'd seen the first map, you'd think this guy was done for, but he's really bounced back. Hell of a one-tap by Sunny. It was onto a weakened Rain anyway, without any head armor. We can only beat what's ahead of you. And Mousesports are doing an excellent job of doing just that. Nico destroyed on ramp, as will be Guardian on team aim. Wants to trade his Glock. Just E things. How is that still not fixed? You could see who's really trying to get that. He's like, screw it, I'll see. But that gives his position away. That's got to be so frustrating if you're Guardian. Sure, he probably doesn't win the round, but why is that still a thing?
It's okay, Vince. We're going to get through this.
Yeah, I'm a bit tilted. I'm not
okay. So we've all had a quarterfinal. We're going to get through this. We're at the 3rd map. Guardian's over it. We can be as well. He's got an AWP now as well. It's going to be no helmet once again for him, but it didn't stop him before. Round 14 now. Mousesports have guaranteed themselves the half victory. And Oscar and Chris J doing what they can with those double ups once again. Sunny at the very top of the scoreboard right now, but Snacks looking to find a few frags of his own, getting towards that pop dog room, this time right up inside there. Oscar left alone on the lower ramp of the AWP, so they're mixing things up slightly. And Sunny ready and waiting. We backed up by an AWP as well, remember. The Guardian could have his work cut out for him here. They can hear the scope clicking away. Sunny might... Oh my goodness, that's so well played. He actually bounces around the corner before the flashbang blooms, and then he gets 2 frags and still wants a few more. Let down by his own grenade switch. He could have been on for 3, but still he'll take 2 all day long. Snacks takes down Rain, and that's going to be a round in favor of Mousesports there. A little bit of an odd finish for Sunny, but still he survived.
We'll let them off for that sick passage of play, but will it come back to haunt them a little bit? Because Nico has got himself into an interesting spot. They know one player was seen around Pop Dog, which will be Snacks. Mousesports can't take this round for granted. They're still going to have to battle until the bitter end. Rops, forever alert, forever ready for whatever comes up against him. He's going to have the beast of Nico. The bomb gets planted for 3, but they're going to cash out now. Rops with a headshot, leaving Carrigan 1-on-4. He's pulled off some clutches in his time, but this would definitely be up there with some of the best. He's still very cognizant of Pop Dog being an issue. I think he just spotted Snack, so there's the first one. But his position now known. Sunny will drill into Carrigan. And Mousesports take a 9-5 lead. Very well played by Sunny in the end.
There we go. There's going to be a 3-man advantage brought over from Mousesports in the previous round. Plenty of money there. Carrigan, you're right, though. He does actually have this sort of knack to win those sort of crazy clutches just when FaZe need them. But that was a little bit crazy to pull that one off. But it will be the final round of the first half here. Vince, Galils, UMPs, and a scout. don't think this is the recipe for absolute success, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Outside execution, all 5 players, out of main entrance, get it done. Try and get a post-plant situation there. We'll see if it's possible, but Mousesports looking for double digits once again.
This would leave us in such a tasty prospect for that second half if it were to come to a 10-5. Rain going to get chipped away, courtesy of early grenades being tossed towards the E-block side, but it's going to be his smokes and a wall of them. In the eyes of the CT, he's going to go for a plant again, will be successful, but they are losing players at an alarmingly fast rate. Rain and Olofmeister with so much on their plate and they can't finish it off. Mousesports will indeed take us to 10-5 at half-time. After going 16-1 down on Cash, they have the advantage going their way to move into the semi-finals.
Stunner, over to you on the show floor.
Because I think the only thing these people in these seats want to see is FaZe bring this one back closer. 10-10 could be the scoreline, but you know what? I think we've got some FaZe fans in the house this evening. Anybody? No. What about Mousesports? Any Mousesports fans at all? Well, don't boo them. Don't boo them. That's not classy. All right. I tell you it like this, Henry. Do you think they could do it? Can they solidify their path to grabbing this Intel Grand Slam?
I think they can. Stunner, you built it up perfectly there. I feel like it's going to be a decent comeback coming from FaZe. I can't say who's going to win yet. Obviously, no one can. But Vince, you're quite a smart man. What do you reckon? You feel like FaZe can pull this one back?
Ton of Razor's Edge. Do they have the ability? Do they have the potential? The players? Hell yes. But 10-5, the pistol is everything right now.
Oh, you feel the storyline quite nicely there. I can feel the atmosphere building up in the room. This pistol means absolutely everything. The final half of this particular matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Mousesports, if they pick this one up, they could potentially be 13-5 in the lead. FaZe need this. Olofmeister needs you, and we'll see whether they can pull this one off. Mousesports goes straight up inside rush. Sunny takes down Olof straight away, and this Molotov is deployed towards the connector. I'm not sure they can do anything about this. Guardian's rotating in quickly, but Nico's held off by the flames, and Snacks is right down the mouth of the bomb site.
Oh, and Snacks has gone in for an extra one, but Rain and Karrakin, they're coming up clutch with pistol headshots. Karrakin knows 8-1 himself, so he's down to 9. And Chris J could finish off what he starts. Rops in the meanwhile to Rain.
What?
It's brutal, but now Nico is coming up with a vengeance. Chris J just needs one bullet, and Nico connect! He's already got one pistol ace. He's not satisfied.
And he has got the defuse as well. That looked like it was absolutely over. They get the opening kill. They get the bomb down. They're pushing down with the connector. Push as well. The Molotov was there. It seemed like it was all so perfect for Mousesports, but all of a sudden, Nico arrives and hits absolutely everything. He hit like 5 HP at that shot as well. It looked like Chris J had him locked down, and maybe Chris J would be better off just hiding and playing off the bomb, but there we go. Sometimes you can't help it. It will be AKs out in the third for Mousesports here. FaZe preparing for that. 5 rifles, Vince. They don't want to give anything away in that third round. No SMGs, no nonsense here, as we'll head into a full eco for Mousesports. But that certainly has turned the game on its head. Nico saving the day. It just felt like they were completely out of that. The inside rush was so idyllic to start with.
And you know what, Henry? I think we can officially say, game well and truly back on. This could very well go the distance. FaZe in perfect position to get this deficit narrowed down. Saw Snacks there toss a pistol away. I'm not sure if they bought an extra one at spawn. Didn't quite see what happened, but he's going to join the rest of his team now. The one flashbang looks like they could be ebbing towards a B plant. And neither of the CTs are close to stop this, so as soon as that flash detonates, if it's in the eyes of these two CTs, it should at least be a bomb plant for Mousesports, which would give them a much healthier buy in the next round. And it will be Sunny to throw it out into the open, just above the site. So here we go. They're pulling the trigger. They're going to get up close and personal. And I don't think Guardian can stop this. He's taking bullets left and right. Yes, FaZe should have the round. Yes, they're getting kills, but they're also conceding some. And this is mission done. Anything from this point for Mousesports is a nice, juicy bonus on top. And Sunny's made a move all the way around back into Connector. And he is hoping to catch Karrigan unawares. And he has, but his position's now known. So FaZe will get the round, but that's solid effort by Mousesports.
The fact that Mousesports even get a plant here is fantastic. They're going to have so much money. They can even bring out the AWP once again. This is what happened in the previous map. Raban knows it. You can see the look on his face. Like, well, that means Oscar, he might be bringing out the old AWP, and that could not bode well for us. So there we have it. Oscar does purchase the AWP. And remember, FaZe did prepare for this situation. Maybe not to this level. 2 FAMASs, M4s. They do have kits and a plethora of utility, but the AWP is the main factor. They might want to play up close and personal just to deny any sort of long-range picks.
No picks going to be forthcoming just yet as a result of the early utility expended by both teams. Ivy was a hotly contested area of the map, and it looks like they're going to try and return the favor as Oscar jumps across. It was Chris J on the receiving end of it, and the hands of Guardian. Oscar's not going to be given that opportunity as a smoke will plume just in front of his eyes. So a bit of a stalemate opening up. Bomb still dropped out towards the T-main side. The Mousesports have no interest in going too aggressive just yet. FaZe doing a good job of holding on to the bulk of their grenades, though. Still have 3 smokes, a Molotov, plenty of flashes. The 2 teams jockeying for position. Another smoke is going to plume outside of Ivy. Flashbang onto Karrigan. So he's going to have to give that up. Mousesports are getting real estate here, Henry. And with 35 seconds left, Oscar is going to break the deadlock with an AWP shot.
Excellent stuff from him towards Ivy. Nico good for 1, but is that enough? Karrigan with the FAMAS defensive position, and he gets dropped like a sack of spuds. Chris J finds him on the bomb side there. 4 versus 2. I don't think it's even justified to try and go for this one now. They're both at the backtracks here, but Olof Meister's position could be enough. Flashbang doesn't find in the frag just yet. He'll make his way towards the bomb. They're going to need at least 2 kills here very quickly. Not going to happen. Good trades, great teamwork from Mousesports as Guardian left in the horrible position of a FAMAS and a 3 versus 1. It's all, again, stems from the fact they allowed the bomb to go down. Remember on Dust 2, Vince, we had the same issue. It was Mousesports with Glocks, no armor, went up short, and they missed all the scout shots. They weren't perfecting the bomb sites enough. They're too far back in these rounds where all the only objective is to get the bomb down. They're not actually down there stopping it happening. You get an MP9 even, you can be right down there battling, making sure the bomb doesn't get planted, but they let it happen again, and it comes back to haunt them. It really is a massive issue for this FaZe roster.
Guardian's waiting for one of those weapons to blow back towards him so he can trade the FAMAS out for the M4. A slight upgrade, but it is really a plaster over a gaping wound at this stage. As Mousesports take a 4-round lead, FaZe into a full purchase. It's not going to be with an AWP, though. I don't think they had enough. So Nico's gone for the scout instead. This is bare bones again, Henry.
There's been a lot of scout purchases here, but that's a huge round for Mousesports to pick up. The AWP in the hands of Oscar. Nades at the start do no damage. Guardian, he'll rotate through. He's not as keen with the scout as Nico seems to be. A lot of wallbang attempt there. Guardian, not too much significant damage there. Sunny down to 85, at least gives him some one-tap potential against those M4s. It's one small note to take away from it. It looks like the inside execution could be coming in here. It's Olof Meister with no real grenades now. Oh, he just got a smoke, so Guardian there with the flashbang could be enough, but that smoke might be coming a little bit too late. He's got to reposition, readjust. Guardian going for the spray, does no damage, and the bomb's going to be planted here. Mousesports are running away with this round, and FaZe are running out of time. Final map, and this is looking likely to be 12-7. They'll give the retake a go, but Vince, they got no defuse kit, but they have got a kill. Sunny goes down.
And Karrigan's gone in and doubled up onto Snacks. Rops finally puts an end to the killing streak. But as you say, without a kit, they've got to get a move. Oh, what a shot by Rops!
That's going to be it. Get out of here, boys. You're not welcome. They even had a Molotov for the post-plant situation. For that was under lock and key, in my opinion. It was done. But still, great shot. My God, Oscar, that wasn't bad either. Straight through the ramp, it seems. Takes down Nico. Be feeling that one tomorrow. And there it is, 12th round on the board, and presumably the eco comes in for FaZe at this point. Rain, the only player to save anything. Mousesports have looked so turbulent in this series. Remember, they lost 16-1 in the first map. It was Cash. That was their pick. And now here they are on Train, potentially up 13-7. Up against what should be default pistols on 1M4. FaZe are on the CT side, so it's never too late, but it just feels like the economy situation is just out of control, and these small mistakes, like letting the bomb go down in that second round full eco, is a massive problem for them. And we'll see what they bring to the table here. Surely they take the full eco phase. They'll take the pause. Nothing really has been purchased as of yet. Just a Deagle for Nico. Rain, remember that saved M4. Guardian 8 and 14. Vince, he really hasn't looked too hot in the last two maps where they've struggled.
Yeah, it's exactly the point that we raised before we went live on this map. Is Oscar's been doing consistently well. Guardian had an off performance on Dust 2, and they needed him desperately to step things up. So far, hasn't been happening. Oscar, meanwhile, 13-6, had plenty of impact. And I really thought once FaZe won that second pistol, this is going towards the rocks a little bit for Mousesports, but they seem to have just about steered it away. And now FaZe, I mean, they're in serious threat of losing this best of 3 now, after starting so well. Just the 1M4 in play. Surely, this round goes the way of Mousesports.
Well, you said surely, so presumably it won't now. That's normally how it goes down when we're commentating, but, you know, you are right. This should be a Mousesports round, as long as they don't overcommit. They have got a lot better at that. I used to criticize this team so much for always rushing into situations, not taking their time when they knew their opposition was just on pistols. They seem to just throw away a lot of rounds. They don't seem to do that as much anymore. Nico, like I say, that's the sort of shot he normally nails, but Sunny beats him to the punch. And that's the opening incision they needed. Now can hold up again. Still plenty of time here. Let's wait for the reaction to come through. It looks like they're likely to finish up towards inside, but Sunny can still pro out here. Even if he goes down, if he can call those 2 players outside, that will still be a decent enough information for his teammates to use. He could even get towards connect here. So he goes down. Like I said, not a huge deal, but this could be. Rob's now struggling. Normally so strong in these sort of positions. Gonna have to just try and stay alive here. Knowing it's too low to really fight back. And Rain of the M4, he could save the day. Time ticking away, but Oscar hits the shot. 2 versus 3. Bomb not planted yet. It's getting very chaotic. 2 low HP players, and they haven't accounted for Olaf Meister, who runs out of ammo. The USP, does he recover? Not quite, but the bomb's still not down, Vince. 7 seconds remaining, and Carrigan has got the AK-47. Surely the plant comes in, and indeed it is.
There's a huge HP advantage in his favor too. Oscar only has 4 left. 1 bullet will end his life. A round that Mousesports should have been walking away with is now on the brink of defeat. Carrigan, without a kit, has to push. Also doesn't have Kevlar. Aim punch could be an issue, but here comes Oscar. He's a P250 to the head, and you can see how brutal that is for Carrigan.
That was so intense. Oscar knew, as you mentioned, he was such low HP, he couldn't show himself whatsoever. He opted to stand in the smoke, and that's 15 seconds of cover if he wanted to be. Allows Carrigan, who has to get closer and closer to the bomb, takes a bit of a risk, a calculated risk, jumping up here, doesn't fire the bullet until he knows I've got a guaranteed chance of taking him down. It's unlikely he has a helmet. I can use the P250 as long as I land the headshot, and that was absolutely massive. It was looking so chaotic, and it was falling apart for Mousesports, but they get the round on the board. That's all that matters. They have enough money to buy as we get into round number 21. Final map of the series, and Mousesports looking to knock out FaZe here. This is pretty unbelievable.
That round could have turned everything.
Yes, indeed, I agree.
Carrigan, head in hand.
He knows it as well. That's why he's looking that disappointed. It has been the catalyst to get FaZe back in this game.
FaZe aren't done just yet. We know they can pull this back. Mousesports will not be taking them lightly. That grenade chunking Nico. Down to 22. One of their main men struggling to recover after that damage. Definitely hasn't had the level of impact you'd be looking for from Nico on Train. Then again, no one really has on FaZe. Oscar's also taken a bit of chip as well. He's down to 54. Plenty of utility left for Mousesports, however. 3 smokes, 3 Molotovs.
With the loss bonus, the 3rd stage, If FaZe were to give this one up, not only would it be 14-7, Vince, they'd only get $2,900 on the CT side into the next one. They are fully invested right now, but good damage inflicted at least. Rain makes his way towards Popdog, very good in this position. Mousesports seem to be probing back towards his side. Sunny's by the Olaf Meister position. And he's hitting headshots all over the place. What an absolute beast he's been this tournament. Only really exploded onto the scene this year. And he's turned heads and ripped a few of them off in the process as well. Fantastic aim, fantastic game sense. And now Mousesports get ready to go inside. Guardian hitting some shots now. Can he find a few more? This is more like it. 2 kills going in his favor. Has he got anything left in the tank? Here we go, 4 versus 2. FaZe might have done enough here as there's only 9 seconds remaining. It felt like Mousesports gave him a bit of an easy ride there. Didn't have to hit too many impressive shots, but he hit the ones that really counted. And Oscar and Sunny had to save their weaponry.
It was just one flash, and then it was almost like death by indecision. They didn't push behind it.
Yes.
So he only got flashed for a millisecond. He's one of the worst AWPers in the world to be pushing in single file against.
Yes,
he is not going to miss. He simply, even if he's in poor form, he's going to land them shots.
You need another smoke down that lower ramp just to at least block some vision and make him have to move around and make things uncomfortable. But he's holding a static line, and you're going through 1 by 1 through smoke. He's not going to miss. You're absolutely right. And he won't miss that either. Oscar now getting a taste of his own medicine as Oscar will be dropped by Guardian straight away there. They've still got money on him. You can see $5,000, but this is a chance for FaZe to wake up and get back into this now.
That could be the fire lit under his backside to really step this up. And if Guardian starts to feel it, FaZe can easily claw back into this. Snack's going to take some damage, not too bad. Using the ladder to survive. Just really baiting out as many CTs as possible. But with Mousesports a player behind, that's not going to be good enough. They need results. Just over a minute. Bomb dropped out. You see the crowd's pretty divided too. You can hear Mousesports and FaZe chants.
We're both international squads, so you can
understand why.
Find some love everywhere, pretty much.
Although, of course, Mousesports don't have a suite on their team.
FaZe have got 2, technically, with the coach as well.
So 30 seconds, Henry. We're coming to crunch time again.
Oh, yes, we are. It's the advantage so far for FaZe. 5 versus 4, and it feels like this is one of those commitments you have to make. You're running out of time. But Max is doing a good job, but Nico only good for 1. I thought he was going to get the double spray down there, but the HP is so low. I don't feel like FaZe will give this one up whatsoever. Great positioning from Olaf Meister. That should guarantee the round. 9 seconds remain, and they might just have to fall back at this point as the AWP being dropped. And there it is. No chance of the bomb being planted anymore. Just Sunny looking to get a consolation frag or just trying to get the money. And FaZe have done enough. Nice opening pick, courtesy of Guardian at the start of the round, and Mousesports with some indecisions at the beginning as well. Couldn't really find the perfect procedure to get themselves out towards the bomb side. 20 seconds remaining. 1 by 1 through the smoke again. And there we have it. Mousesports have allowed FaZe back into this one. Has to be the Eco. PD50 CZ. Osprey is the second stage. MP9 to Carrigan. Perfect weapons against some nice spray downs here. Farm some money. Inside's been a bit of an issue with the bomb being planted until Olaf Meister playing up close and personal now. Sunny will be dropped first.
Overstays is welcoming ladder. They'd been baiting that a couple rounds prior, so maybe a bit predictable, a bit telegraphed. That grenade's going to do some serious damage on the rocks. Not quite as much as I was expecting, but Olaf Meister can clean up the rest, but he goes down. Snacks is going to connect the frag. Lots of damage done this time by the grenade of Guardian. But it will be a bomb plant, allowing Mousesports to get a much healthier buy in the next round. The round should be over. Rops tries as he may, a valiant attempt. FaZe will hit the double-digit mark.
Absolutely well. Bomb planted though, couple of kills found, wasn't the worst eco for Mousesports, but you're right, FaZe on the CT side is starting to look more convincing now. They've strung 3 rounds together. It is a very CT-sided map, and where at 13-7 it was looking pretty disastrous. These big rounds coming in now, convincing ones, and they're finally starting to get some money together. Could be enough to take them to the semis. AWP out for Oscar once again. We'll have a look at the frag shots we hear. Rops and Sunny both at 21 frags, really doing a fantastic job. Rob's known to be a bit of a train specialist. Oscar with the AWP, this time going towards Ivy.
Flashbang stops Nico from pulling the trigger on that wall bang. Could have saved a bit of damage across the Mousesports. There's the run boost. Carrigan saw it. Just deploy the smoke and back away. Would be a suicidal push if Mousesports decided to go through that, so it does buy FaZe up a little bit of time to relocate. I'm just trying to play with Rain's mind. Just spotted him for a second.
I don't want to be that. Rain waiting for you is quite a scary prospect. Gonna try and maybe Molotov him off, bait out some shots. Just trying to toy with him there, trying to sit. He wants basically to Rain to use whatever grenades he's got. That would be ideal. Rain not taking the bait whatsoever. Rops doesn't get solid vision, just doing that. Oh, he does connect the shot. Take it back right through the corner of the wall there.
I think it was corner of the wall onto the legs, so it's done 51 damage as opposed to 80 odd. Guardian in the meanwhile, oh, the timing's just slightly off. He can't stop Chris J from pushing from Ivy's side. This is going to put so much pressure on Nico. You can see him having the back to the train because it's going to be compromised from the side now. Guardian's going to try and reclaim what was once the CTs, but not in time to stop the bomb plant. FaZe do have the player advantage, make it a two-player advantage. Guardian proving patience is a virtue. Now Chris J is going to get smashed by Rain, leaving Snacks in a 1-on-4. He's already picked up one for his troubles. And as good as he is, I'm not sure he has the savagery in mind to clutch this round out. He knows where one of these players are in connector from the trajectory back grenade. Does a bunch of damage onto Guardian. Going to be changing his angle towards Olofmeister, but FaZe get it done. One round closer, 13-11.
I was starting to believe that for a second. Snacks had good positioning and good awareness as to where the CTs were, but ultimately, good teamwork from FaZe shut down any sort of threat quite early on in that particular clutch. 13-11. And once again, there is a buy for Mousesports as the loss bonus starts to accumulate. Now we're at fourth stage, meaning with the bomb going down, you definitely still can buy, but there'll be holes within the purchases. You can see Oscar has no grenades, pretty much same story for Rops as well. Although he does have $600 residual cash, could have got a couple of flashbangs to go with his one smoke. Either way, Oscar and Co go for a very fast tactic here. Robs will get the first kill. Guardian answering back. This is much better. Robs with the second, and they're going for the plant right now, but Nico's still waiting. AWP will fall back to a more defensive position here as we go into a 3-on-3.
They make it the plant, but Guardian has the advantage up on Heaven. I say that, but he's been spotted, and he needs the rest of his team to do damage, otherwise everyone can focus his angle. Olofmeister duel to the death, and will get the upper hand onto Oscar. That's one pivotal position that's now been put on lock from the CTs. This draws Chris J's attention elsewhere, and the bomb still hasn't been planted, although Rops is snaking his way to the B side where he will get the bomb planted now out in the open. If Chris J can get a kill, this round is going to finish in very, very tense way.
They still think it's outside. And now they've realized, you can see them all change all of a sudden. Robs is waiting towards CT4. He can hear Nico coming, no problem whatsoever. This is all about Robs right now. That's his third kill of the round. Goes to the 2 versus 2. Guardians out of the connector. Robs have it all to play for. It's a very open plant, and he knows it. Chris J watching the back lines, but Robs, this is all down to him and Guardian. This could be it. Could Mousesports steal the round away? He touches the bomb, but he's not committed to it. And Robs will go down, but he might have done enough here. Open plant, Guardian's going for it, but it's not enough. Chris J will take him down. And after a round where it seemed like they had nothing to go with, they go for a very, very fast outside push. Robs hits absolutely everything. 3 kills to his name, and this is where it all began. So crisp, so confident in his own ability, and this play especially, getting that plant down and focusing towards CT spawn. While Chris J didn't have to do much there, Vince, he just had to stay alive outside and keep them distracted for at least 10 seconds or so, and that was absolutely perfect by them.
You see the impact it's had again. Carrigan down to a CZ, 2 players, 0 grenades, and Carrigan has been destroyed courtesy of Chris J's MP7, and he's going to go for a second one alongside Rops. AK-47 this time. Guardian, a different angle, one that Chris J clearly wasn't anticipating, and now it's down to Rain. If he can push at the right moment at the right time, this could be everything, but now Snacks is also going to use that smoke to his advantage. They actually trade positions. I think finally he realizes, Rain, that someone's through there. And Rain is the gatekeeper. He is the way back into this. Olofmeister, though, is going to fall to the hands of Rock. Guardian's still alive. He's been doing laps of the bomb site. But now Rain, who was last seen in Ivy, has to make the tumultuous task and move around connector.
This is absolutely everything. FaZe will have no money left. No loss bonus if Rain can't pull this one off. 2 versus 1. He's lost track of everyone here. Oscar and Sunny remain. Sunny's already inside. Past Rain, in fact. Sunny has walked past him, and that's going to be it. Doesn't even matter. Oscar comes down the lower ramp, and that could be the game in itself here, Vince. 4 in a row now for FaZe, just to take us to overtime. And you know, they have less than $2,000 per player right now. This is not looking good. Could this be the end of the Grand Slam dream? The $1 million down the toilet.
It's looking likely, isn't it, Henry? Because Mousesports, they have been a revelation on this T side in parts. Yes, they've had their dodgy moments, their back and forth rounds that probably shouldn't have been lost, but they've held their nerve, shown true grit, great tenacity. And that's exactly what FaZe needs to show right here, right now, if they want to bring us to overtime and keep that $1 million bonus alive. In terms of grenades, though, it is so incredibly bleak. They've got 4 smokes, but that's pretty much it. Just the 1 kit. Guardian, just a scout, not even Kevlar.
Very tense now. Scout. Glass cannon. You don't see that every day. CZ. A Desert Eagle. All 5 players from Mousesports heading towards inside. There are 3 CTs in that particular position, but is it going to be enough? Smoke deployed towards lower ramp. Sunny's going to commit. They're looking for fast frags here, and you know Sunny's capable of getting them. There's the first.
Capable and delivers. The bomb, though, is making a move back into box halls. Do Mousesports want to play possum, or are they going to go for the jugular? Sunny is still doing so much damage with his AK-47. He's been tagged down to 29. Nico's taking some shots, and he will be put down as Rops keeps delivering. Rampant Rops ravaging FaZe all over the map. He's just shy of a 30 bomb, and Rain is going to be the last player to fall. The $1 million burning in the eyes of FaZe, and Mousesports move on to the semi-final.
You've got to respect it, Vince. You've just got to respect the grind of coming back from a 16-1 first map against a team looking as deadly as FaZe were. No one could touch them. They couldn't even go in a 1v1 duel in the first map. They bounced back on Dust2, which is FaZe's pick, and it rattled them so much that they seemed to just have their way with them on train. That was fantastic from Mousesports. They've had a turbulent tournament, but they're getting better and better as time goes by. Great performance from Rops, who looked quiet in the first map, but once again held his nerve and showed he can play years above his experience level.
Absolutely, especially after that first map. To bounce back, I've just got nothing but respect for him. Yeah. Unbelievable. The second 2 maps, he was dropping well over 20 frags, bunch of ADR, loads of entry frags. The guy needs to take a bow because he was unbelievable.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. And Sunny as well. He's got to be one of my MVPs of the tournament so far. Just keeps delivering. Even when his team can't stand up, he manages to get them over the finish line time and time again. You could see how assertive he was being in that final round as well. Just pushing further, knowing he could actually be in there by himself, find the frags, find the headshots, and you could see the looks on their faces when he got that second kill. It was a done deal. Nothing could be done. Great moments there, great clutches, and congratulations to Mousesports. They're going to be going to the semi-finals, Vince, and we have to say goodbye to FaZe and that $1 million Grand Slam. That is no longer a conversation. I'm sure the guys will talk about it over on the lovely analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Henry. Yes, no one saw this coming, and indeed that run that they were hoping for. Hello. Hi. I do have Pimp, and of course I have Sponge hanging out with me. And so, gents, you know how we all like giggled and we all predicted FaZe? And
my supercomputer's broken.
Someone said 2-0. Your supercomputer, you put all the digits in, and
I hit every single
you missed
right
a 1
button.
or a 0 somewhere.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
but,
he's talking as well.
But I think some of these things, Alex, that just happened there with this whole scenario is FaZe crumbling under pressure again.
Yeah.
Now, let's just be completely honest for a second here. Mousesports played better than I think we expected them to. But the thing is, every time FaZe get to a point where they have an easiest road or they have a title to take, they have been choking. And I don't want to, I don't want to be that guy, but how many times has this happened now? This year, it's the major. It's Katowice.
Do you remember this round, Chad?
Yeah, well, this is where I thought the whole thing was over.
Sunshine and rainbows.
That's
it was.
the thing. How do you go from winning a map 16-1 so convincingly, so composed, to just be god awful? You know, compared to the level.
I mean, god awful, maybe a stretch.
Yeah, now I'm not even sure.
Jacob's mad.
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm disappointed in FaZe. Obviously, no, they were not god awful. Mousesports played a great game, but it felt to me they were so uncovered.
Yeah, there were a few bits and pieces that you know, like you said, on Dust 2, like smokes the mist on that B bomb site round where they were going on in, they threw the mist smoke at the doors, and Oscar gets a couple of free kills. There was a Molotov that missed in a 3v3 post-plant retake on that bomb site. Those issues were cropping up for FaZe. Henry pointed this out time and time again, and I think we need to carry it through, and I think we need to point it out, is those rounds where they had you know, they won the pistol and then they allowed Mousesports to plant, gave them the third gun round where they had AWPs and all the goodies because they got the pistol round plant, they got the second round plant. You don't want to let them do that when you know they're taking that. That's when you get aggressive. That's when you take the risk. That's when you push up against the Glocks. I guess they're expecting the force buys.
I believe we have a Mouse who's become a Lion on that headset now as well. Mousesports in the semi-final, and I do have... Oh, Sunny joining us now all the way from the Ericsson Globe. Dude, congratulations. You're in the semi-final of DreamHack Masters.
Thank you.
I just realised I've tried to get excitement out of a Finn.
He's smiling though, that's a good sign.
Congratulations, bro. I mean, a fantastic performance all around from you guys. But first things first, how did you turn that around? How did you and your team turn around losing 16-1 over on Cash to go ahead and just look cool, calm, collected over on Dust 2 and Train?
I don't know, like, it felt that the last few games which we played on LAN that the whole team is like really stressed, and I don't know why. And then we just basically spoke after the first map that we don't need to prove anything to anyone else and ourselves. So, and I think that just like gave more hunger to the boys, and I also promised some steaks for snacks if we win.
Oh, really? That's a pretty good reason to motivate the player. I had a question for you guys, because obviously since the removal of Sticko, it's been very up and down for you guys, and towards when you made that roster change, obviously you were lacking practice. There were just so many tournaments going on. You guys are the only ones who really know from practice the skill ceiling that you guys have. Do you think this roster change is enough to make you guys a world #1 team?
I think it's enough. We just need more time, because if you replace more like supportive and passive player with active one, it's like it takes some time to fit in. So yeah.
How did it feel after the first map on Cash? It was obviously that FaZe came out really, really strong. How did you manage to pull yourselves together and move on to an impressive 2-1 win?
I mean, the first reaction was like Obby once said in interview, that fuck.
Wow.
But after that it was fine. We just found ourselves and beat them.
Fantastic. Sunny, congratulations. Semi-finals tomorrow. My final question to you, though, is just coming into tomorrow. North and Na'Vi are playing. Who do you think is going to take that? Who do you think you're playing tomorrow?
It's really hard to say, but I believe that we will play Na'Vi.
Oof, scary.
But good luck to both. No hard feelings.
Of course not. No. Right, well, you get out of here and celebrate and get those steaks, and we will go quickly talk to our analyst just a little bit more longer. Thank you so much, Sunny. Woof. Na'Vi, of course, is playing next.
Yeah, well, that's going to be another brawly game, I think, because the way that North beat Astralis was a very similar fashion to this one, where it was just back and forth, toe-to-toe kind of Counter-Strike. I just think that FaZe is going to be super disappointed in themselves.
So, apparently, Jacob, your battery's dead. Oh. Yeah. So
well,
you can't actually
don't talk. It's just been me and Alex.
Yeah,
so that's the way we like it anyway.
His battery's dead, and I think that's probably. You know what? We've ended segments for lesser reasons. I think maybe this is a good time to go ahead and.
One time we high-fived to end a segment.
You did. Why don't we high-five in front of a dead Jacob microphone, and we'll go ahead.
Are we doing it?
Yeah, go on. All right, we're getting out of here. First reminder, though, down this one, that you guys should be sure to check out Strafe. That's right. Coming up with Na'Vi versus North. If you wanted to find out how your favorite players and how your favorite teams from those rosters are doing, you can follow them individually or as a unit over on Strafe, iOS and Google Play, all of that good stuff. We're taking a break. North Na'Vi coming up after the break here at CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Stockholm.